I am hoping that law enforcement, first responders, federal staff, legislators, even educational staff, and really just people in general are really prepared for the imminent threats that are stalking us. See, the confused, the delusional, the emotionally, mentally deranged, and emotionally manipulated victims of this wicked agenda. The most wicked agenda that we've seen, known as the lgbTQ cult. You know, the guinea pigs, the lab rats that have been pumped full of puberty blockers and wrong sex hormones and illicit drugs. Well, they're becoming more unhinged every single day. So the plan worked. The plan has definitely worked. Why do the leftists and the Islamists embrace, encourage, protect, and promote this particular group of mentally unstable individuals? This very specific group of oppressed and possessed individuals. Why? Because they now have super soldiers that have had their brain development altered, their brain activity manipulated, their nervous system has been modified, and their thoughts and feelings have been weaponized. These individuals are desensitized. They have no moral compass or conscience. We see it every day on the news. It has already begun, y'all. How many of the last of the mass shooters were precisely these specific types of individuals? How many other shootings, recent ones, have also been one of the victims of this cult, this agenda, this mass of political evil that has saturated our entire nation? Please, if you're in a school, or if you work in a movie house, or if you work anywhere, wherever you are, even just out in public, heads on a swivel. Be attentive, be cautious, and be prepared for when they come, because they're coming armed and they're coming dangerous. And they're coming with grand delusions of being a martyr for the cause. Their cause, which isn't their cause. It's the cause they've been manipulated into. Because they are coming. And not just one by one like we've seen, right? There is something so much darker and so much more threatening that's heading our way. We have to be prepared. But prepared for what, David? Listen, this right here is the same young woman. All 5 of these pictures are the same person in different stages of wrong sex hormones. Different stages of wrong sex hormones. Testosterone. And the last one is right before she went and stabbed some random stranger. When I say that these poisons are poisons, that they alter the mind and the brain, you really have no idea.
Women, if they lock you up for identifying as a woman, fight, resist. You're gonna die anyways. We're going to die anyways. Fight them, hurt them, you beat them. We are at an attack. It's time.
This is what we are up against. This is the mentality. This is what wrong sex hormones and puberty blockers and illicit drugs do. Along with being victimized, severely victimized. We're talking about not just mental or just physical or emotional abuse. We're talking about sexual abuse. We're talking about abuse that most of you can't even fathom if you haven't dealt with it.
Time to fight back.
I dare you to try and stop a transgender woman in my presence from using the bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. This is a call to action. Go out, buy a gun, learn how to use it.
I just had a man tell me in public that he can't wait until he's legally able to hunt me down.
Oh, where is he?
If you are LGBTQIA+ or an ally, please interact with this post. I've been getting inundated by hate for being an out and proud queer trans woman.
If you cannot see the derangement, the delusions of what these poisons do to people, if you cannot see it, there's something seriously wrong with you.
Go out, buy a gun.
It's okay to be angry.
Get out of my face now!
If you try to stop me from going into a woman's bathroom,
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
be the last mistake you ever make.
It is ma'am.
Find that anger.
Just because, hey.
This anger.
God, man. We can just make a batch and say that some of us well.
Anger is probably my primary source of motivation
The thing is, you don't have to leave.
for everything that I do.
Cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance. It was a call to action or call to arms.
Don't be afraid to show your anger.
Hi guys, we are Emily. How are y'all doing? We are also the Beast. We are also Jack.
In despair, my skin's dying because you're under it. I'm done lying.
I've moved forward now, and I've gone back to being a child. I don't want to be an adult right now, and I just live my life like I couldn't when I was in school.
Denver shooter.
Beloved, I just want somebody to have some type of compassion for these individuals. I know I'm going to get a whole lot of slack for that. But these are victims too.
Shooter was trans, the Aberdeen shooter was trans, the Nashville shooter was trans, the Philadelphia shooter was trans, the Iowa shooter was gender fluid, the Colorado STEM school shooter was trans.
My best to come to terms with living in
fluid, the Colorado STEM.
I rewinded this because I want everyone to see this is how deranged and how wicked and evil this is. These people are first of all, they're not only victimized severely, like most of you couldn't even fathom. You couldn't comprehend how badly some of these people have been victimized. But all of that victimization has opened them up, has completely opened them up to being oppressed, possessed, right? I know I believe the Bible. And so because I believe the Bible and because I believe what the word says, I believe that these are demonic possessions, that these are spiritual oppressions.
School shooter was trans.
my best to come to terms with living in a human body. My name is Horace, and I'm a red-tailed hawk. In our world, I do have the body of a hawk, but while fronting, I consider myself a therapist.
I just can't grasp how we cannot have compassion, or at least want to know how to rescue these victims, because right now they're creating victims of their own. And so now there are other victims out there because nobody helped these victims. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are going to be telling me that I'm just being too loving. Oh, David, you're just being too loving. Or I think or some people might think that I'm just trying to give these people excuses for their actions, right? Like, because they were victimized, it was okay to go shoot up a school. That's not what I'm saying at all. All right? And then there's people that say, well, these people know right from wrong. I don't feel sorry for them. Well, shame on you. Shame on you. Yes, they've murdered people. Yes, they've abused other people. Yes, they've injured people, and they've victimized many. But I wonder if we really grasp that they were first murdered. They were murdered first. They were abused first. They were injured first. They were victimized first. Which is what has led to this. Which is what has led to them victimizing others. And listen, I'm not saying that their crimes should go unpunished. I'm saying that we must have compassion for all victims, not just the ones we pick and choose to. See, many of those victims that you feel sorry for and the ones that you have compassion for are very capable of doing the same thing to others that was done to them, should they go down that path. And not by choice, but by nature. If you think that you've arrived, that some sins are worse than others, then you don't really grasp the magnitude of your own sins against God or how he sees you. No different than he sees those victims that you despise, or those victimizers that you feel malice for. All because they fell deeper into the trap that the enemy set for them.
But I think what people don't realize is how much privilege is coming from the people who feel like they're left-leaning, but suddenly as soon as things get violent, as soon as things get bloody, not me. No, I have too much empathy. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see people hurt. Nobody deserves that. No, some people do deserve that. And sometimes fighting is messy. Sometimes it's bloody. I recognize my views, lean utilitarian. I recognize the flaws in that logic, but also show me a better way, because nothing so far is working. You know, like capitalism's growing and growing, patriarchy's growing and growing. Nothing's getting better. I think people are afraid to do what it takes, you know? Like, even when you're not the one getting your hands dirty, don't condemn those who are, that they did what they had to do to take a stand. Like, no, killing one person isn't gonna fix things. But making people afraid to speak that kind of rhetoric, making people think twice, making people feel not empowered, yeah, that will.
If you don't think that this is demonic, right? If you don't think that this isn't just evil.
Hi, my name is Liana. I use they, demon pronouns.
Do you see this person next to me? E is my friend.
Her name is Venus. I heard Z runs a shop by Zara.
Her name is Ren. Z is gender fluid.
We went to the market with your friends who love. And V also goes by they, them pronouns. Love that for Zen.
I didn't have to dress itself up for my party, but it looks great, so I'm not mad. I just want to let Glint know that Thon is valid, that fur pronouns are valid.
It should be really proud of itself for trying on these new pronouns. I know I'm proud of it.
I love Demon very much, and I hope Dean loves Demon self too.
Christian trans people don't owe you an explanation for their existence. I am a white transmasculine femme non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, grey bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma.
We can embody our genders in empowered acts of self-creation.
Queerness is an act of creation.
God made trans people for the same reason he made wheat but not bread.
God created grapes but not wine.
So that humanity can share in the art of creation.
Asexual, demisexual, and cupiosexual.
Autosexual, ace flux.
Neuroqueer.
Gray sexuality. Non-asexual, aromantic. And allosexual, aromantic.
Oh, actually, I'm gender fluid.
Transgender is a gender identity that's similar to being a girl, but it's on a completely different plane from the binary gender of woman.
Gender flawn means that I live on the gender fluid spectrum, but I never identify as female. I have DID, and today is our birthday, so I went to Goodwill and I got a bunch of stuff for everybody, and I'm going to show you guys. I have like 30 people living in my brain, and everything I do belongs to us as a group. No idea how many door knowledge we actually have. I'd have to ask like a gatekeeper. Their body, their choice, as long as they're not hurting anybody else. Being cutting off your fingers for aesthetic, being fun.
Listen, I know that so many people that I know despise these people, despise what they're doing, the influence that they're having on children. I know that they despise the heinous crimes that some of them have committed against children. And you should despise those things. Those things. But not the individual. I really don't know how to make people understand that they say, well, you know, they know right from wrong, or they've gotten to that age where they know what they're doing. Not all of them do. Most of them don't. Most of them, their minds have been so altered and so deteriorated from illicit drugs, from wrong sex hormones, from puberty blockers.
It made me realize I'm trans. And then I made a number of people realize that they are trans, and then some of them have made some other people realize that they are trans. It's a whole little beautiful queer circle of life.
The wave of transgenders is coming for you.
When I was denying my conscience regained, so I began my struggle on nothing.
Take a close look of all of the scars all over this young woman who had her breast removed. Cutting herself as an escape for all of the trauma and abuse that she suffered.
I'm just not a man and just not a woman. But my gender is hard to define beyond that. It's just definitely queer.
I think that I would like validation for my gender identity.
Gender is a social construct. This is scientifically proved. Therefore, anything can be a gender because we made that shit up.
I'm telling you, it's all made up. Gender is a social construct.
Gender is a social construct. Gender is a social construct.
Social construct. What does it mean when people say gender is a social construct?
Being told since birth that you should have a gender identity that our society made up to match an organ that you couldn't pick.
The idea of there only being two genders is a new concept that is directly linked to white supremacy.
Men have periods, and non-binary individuals have periods.
Did you know trans women can get their period just like cis women?
I can tell you right now, my period I experience every month is very real, very valid, and very painful.
I was born in the wrong body.
I am a biological female, and me saying that makes a lot of people very angry.
I am biological, and I am a woman, so therefore I am a biological woman.
We are psychologically and biologically women.
Because I am assigned female at birth. Yes, I did assign that myself, but I don't see how that's relevant.
Whence does thy biological leadership derive?
The reality is there's no such thing as a male or a female. There's women, and within women there's cis and trans.
Is it chromosomes?
Born boy, brain, girl?
Hormones? Brain function?
Boy, girl.
I mean, most of us know for a fact that males cannot have girl brains. We know that every single one of us have over 3,600 chromosome markers that make us distinctly male or distinctly female. So there is no such thing as boy parts, girl brain. It's more like boy parts, traumatized, victimized, weaponized, demonic brain. Because that's what it comes down to. These people have been oppressed and possessed.
Genitalia doesn't exist. Unfortunately, science says that genitalia is more of a spectrum.
Science has proved that trans people have the brain that they identify with.
Gender binary is a direct result of European colonization.
The gender binary is a racist cultural construction created by white scientists in the 19th century.
Day 31 of being a girl, and I'm freaking out a little bit. I haven't gotten my period yet.
The baby has been able to latch, but I've not been able to produce any milk. That's okay.
Men trying to breastfeed. Men trying to breastfeed. This is actually pedophilia.
I want to be a woman. I think we generally in our society don't view transitions with the sacredness, any kind of transitions with the sacredness that we should, and trans people go through like a very powerful one.
My religion? Transgenderism. God is non-binary.
Did you know that Allah is beyond gender?
Remember that God transcends gender.
God is trans. God is gender non-binary.
God is non-binary. God is queer. God is autistic.
I believe in the non-binary God whose pronouns are plural.
I would pray to God and be like, give me one day as a woman. Let me experience what it's like for one day. And now look at me.
I'm not actually non-binary. I'm making it up for attention.
Listen, do you see these young women right here? Do you see these young women right here? Do you really believe that anyone in their right mind, anyone that has not been traumatized, anyone that is not trying to escape and not be who and what they were created to be because they feared being what they are out of fear of being traumatized?
Making it up for attention.
I really wasn't prepared to do Genocide 101 today on this corner of the internet, but since you asked.
Up until yesterday, I worked at Blunt Pretzels. I asked the general manager to stand up for trans rights and against our genocide, and he laughed in my face.
By definition, we are witnessing a genocide of the American transgender community.
The legal steps that are currently being taken are the beginnings of genocide against transgender people.
The constant aura of fear that conservatives are trying to build up around trans people in sports, in bathrooms, etc. is a clear manifestation of the 7th stage of genocide.
And we are in stage 7 of genocide.
They're trying to kill them.
We are in the 7th level of genocide. Out of 10.
In a country that is in stage 8 of a trans genocide.
I am going to spend the next minute screaming.
They want us gone.
Because that is what is going on in here.
That is a genocide.
That is what the trans genocide in this country, in this city, has brought me to.
We've been talking about this, but no one is listening.
I realize more and more that you guys want to commit trans genocide.
Phone policing trans people in an age of trans genocide when we are being hunted in public is inappropriate.
I hate what you've done to us!
Stop trans genocide.
I hate what you're doing to us!
If you are friends with, family with, acquainted with someone who is transphobic, or even just slightly uncomfortable with the community, I need you to know that this genocide against us is your fault. Because the greatest fear in my heart is that there won't be many more warnings. Stop trans genocide.
Imagine that!
The people don't care that Ron DeSantis is committing genocide against trans people.
But make no mistake, this is what they're trying to accomplish.
Stop trans genocide.
This is a trans genocide. Stop gaslighting people.
Is what is happening in the U.S. to trans people a form of genocide? Yes.
Now, listen to me. Because I really, really want everyone to be able to put this together. This is the weaponization of these individuals. And I would repeat, why are the leftists and the progressives and the Islamists embracing, encouraging, promoting, and protecting this specific group of individuals? Why? Because they have created these emotional, outraged, unhinged individuals that they know will grab a machete or grab a knife or grab a gun and go shoot up a movie theater or a school or a hockey game. Do we really? I just don't think that we do.
When you said, when I asked how you were doing, you said I'm upset just now. What was the most upsetting?
You and the other 3 gender therapists I've seen are, in my opinion, harmful charlatans, effectively.
Well, I'm very sorry that you feel this way.
And I feel like I've been hurt by you and by the other gender therapists who have allowed me to stay on this path for over 2 years. Caught up in this horrible mindset, which has robbed me of not only 2 years, but likely my fertility, has given me breasts, has worsened my health conditions. Well, it's just the truth. I mean, you've done nothing for me, except just allowed me to dance around in this delusion. Like, for instance, thinking you're a woman when you're a man. How do you not consider that a delusion? I think that's heartless, honestly. Because I am delusional, and you're not going to help. It's your fault. It's all four of you. It's this whole profession. It's this whole thing. I'm delusional, and you're not helping. You think I are? Some people who are mentally ill need to know it's real.
Some people who are mentally ill need to know what's real. Wow. I mean, can we not see how they have done this to these people? And now we have tossed these people out like they're nothing. We avoid them. We shake our head when we see them. We roll our eyes. Some of us actually hate these people because they're victims. Some of us actually hate these people because of what they've done. They are products of what the enemy has created in them and through them. I just really wish we could grasp that. Amen. Lynn says, I used to have a victim mentality. Jesus healed me in my dark and confused mind, and he can heal them too. And I say amen. And that's the problem, is that so many of us believe that some people are too far gone, that they are unsalvageable, unredeemable. And that's not true. And so I say, we focus on, I'm not even going to just say it. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a, I'm going to show you a, if I can get it. I'm sorry. This is deep, man. This is very intense. And it should be very eye-opening and emotional for a lot of people who have loved ones that are trapped in this delusion, or who have been trapped in this delusion. And I know I talk about a lot of things that other people don't want to talk about. I know that. But I do it because it's the truth. And because everybody else is afraid to talk about these things. So victimhood, how we should all feel for the victims of this cult, right? Victimhood and victim mentality are two totally different things. And if you're wondering what I mean about that, what I'm saying is victimhood is something you can't get rid of. If you've been victimized, you are a victim. But we do have victim mentality. And that's what we see when we say my rights are being, imposed upon, and they play this victim mentality to gain or to get. But what we don't really recognize is that they are victims. They're victims of what has happened to them. They're victims of the movement. They're victims of this cult. They're victims of this agenda. They're victims of the leftists. They're victims of the Islamists. They're victims of the enemy of their soul. These victims are given wrong sex hormones, puberty blockers, illicit drugs, right? What do? Alter brain function. They also alter the nervous system. They cause rage. They cause pain. They cause severe mood swings. They open the door to oppression and possession. These victims are not only forgivable, but they're in desperate need of forgiveness. We, the children of God, must be the ones that reach into the flames, regardless if we get burned or not, and yank these victims out of those flames. We, the children of God, must be the ones that are willing to speak the uncomfortable truth, even with risks. We, the children of God, must be the ones to stand on the front lines and pour into these victims ever so freely what has been poured into us ever so freely. See, newsflash, you have not arrived. You're not above or beyond reproach. You cannot deny these victims truth in love because we love, which is only possible because we were first loved, and not expect their blood to be upon your hands. You don't share truth with them and show them compassion. Their blood is on your hands. You must not walk away shaking your head while looking down upon these people. If ever there was one in desperate need of the truth, in desperate need of freedom, of love, compassion, and understanding, it is the victims of this cult that have suffered harms beyond your wildest, most heinous imaginations. These victims have been broken, they've been raped, they've been molested, they've been sold, they've been rented out, they've been beaten down, they've been stomped out, they've been brainwashed, they've been literally manipulated from the inside out, used, abused, and tossed to and fro. And your disgust of their actions doesn't make them any less victims, even if they've victimized others. Because again, I say that if you are specifically focusing on just trying to protect one group from these people, then you're just putting another group at risk. Instead of focusing on rescuing these people from the miry clay, from the quicksand in which they're sinking. Your bias to their death style, which happens to be part of them being victimized, doesn't mean they don't deserve to be rescued or saved or given a clean slate and redeemed. Your ignorance of what actually controls their mind, their body, and their soul is not bliss. It is your bondage, and it is your issue. It's not their issue. They have enough of their own issues. Thank you very much. So please stop trying to impress your ignorance upon them for being victims and doing what most victims do, victimize others. I've just never been so disgusted in my last 16 years of being free. I've truly never been so disgusted with those who claim to be the church. I've never felt such disdain for those who are hiding behind their pews, just waiting for the Christ to come and rescue them from the very ones they're supposed to be out there rescuing. It is repulsive and it is offensive to hear so-called Christians condemn someone because of their actions when their actions are their response to their being victimized. It's their trauma response. I am sickened to watch anyone think that their sin is less horrific in God's lens than the sins of those who have severely been traumatized. Shame on you. Shame on your thoughts. Shame on your feelings. And that is why your thoughts and feelings don't matter, because even they are tainted from deep within that emotional boneyard of contempt that you dwell in. The church has failed immensely. The church began in the Middle East as a real, true fellowship. It moved to Greece. It became some type of philosophy before going to Italy and becoming an institution. The church then went off to Europe and became a culture. But when the church drifted over to America, it became an enterprise. And when an enterprise, that's a business, right? Isn't it supposed to be a body? So when a body becomes a business, that's prostitution. Has the church become a prostitute? A victim of the Western world itself? The Western world has pimped out the church long enough. So rise up, beloved. Stand up, speak out, and push back. We have to reach into the flames and yank those victims out so that we can prevent any more people from being victimized. It is time that we begged God Almighty to remove our scales, to heal our unbelief, and allow us to embrace the power and authority that He has already granted us in His Holy Spirit. Because sadly, very sadly, most of us don't get that. Most of us don't grasp that. See, if we're focusing on trying to protect one group of children from these people that are victims themselves, then those people will focus on another group of children. If we actually try to rescue those people, imagine all the victims that'll never become victims. It's just me trying to make sense of everything that I know and try to articulate it well enough for people to understand. All these people say, "Oh, David, we love you so much." But then I hear them say, "Oh, did you see what happened? What that drag queen did to that kid? That drag queen belongs in a wood chipper." I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm just as guilty as them. I've done heinous, horrible things to people. All as a result of the terrors that I suffered, that I endured, that I lived through and survived for such a time as this. Beloved, join us this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, this evening, it's our first Ask an X-Trans Anything live stream. So if you got questions, you got concerns, got some, you need some advice, then tune into this 90-minute live stream and ask, chat, voice your concerns. Your question or your concern, right, may bring about an answer or a response that blesses others. And those others might not ask their questions out of shame, guilt, fear, whatever. So if you'd like to share this event, you can go to faKebook or YouTube, and you can share it from there. On faKebook, it's an event. And on YouTube, it's on my channel. And just click it and share it. I mean, I beg of y'all to share it. Not because it's for me to get views, but because every single family that I know, everyone that I know, has somehow been touched by this agenda, has somebody in their family that has been enveloped or saturated by this agenda. And so they need and they deserve whatever information or whatever validation they may receive from what happens tonight on this live stream. So don't deprive them of that opportunity to chat live and get some clarity. All right. And if you want to share it from the YouTube channel, then just go directly to my channel, click live right down here, click live, and it's right there, Ask an X-Trans. You can click on it and it's there, and then you can share it from there. You can share it to anywhere you want. All right. And so that's it. It's our first. I appreciate y'all, and Lord willing, I will catch y'all on the next live stream. Peace.